Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the National Timely Action Hour podcast. This is the show where we talk about everything from comic books to movies and everything in between. My name is Aiden, and I hope that you're doing well today. Today we are on Season 3, Episode 1. This is going to be the DC Animated Universe Watch Order chronologically. In this episode, I wanted to talk about the DC Animated Universe, which began in 1992 with the premiere of Batman the Animated Series and concluded with the end of Justice League Unlimited back in 2006. And this is, aside from the comic books, probably the definitive adaptation of these characters because the acting, the writing, the storytelling, the animation, it was all top of the line, and I absolutely adore it. So let's start off at the beginning. So, Batman the Animated Series, Season 1. Now, Season 1 has a lot of classic episodes in it, and it's great. Then we have the film Batman Mask of the Phantasm, and there are some flashbacks which take place before the show began, but the main story takes place in between seasons 1 and 2. Speaking of which, next we have season 2 and 3 of Batman the Animated Series, or BTAS for short. Then we have Superman the Animated Series seasons 1 and 2, or STAS for short. And this introduces the Man of Tomorrow to this version of the DC Universe. And again, this is an amazing show. Tim Daly does a phenomenal job as Superman in it. And George Newbern replaces him in Justice League because of contractual obligations. He couldn't reprise his role for the show, but Daly would later reprise the role for some animated films, which are all great, but outside of continuity. But and George Newbern, who plays him in Justice League, is awesome. He's amazing. But Superman seasons 1 and 2. Then we have the movie Batman and Mr. Freeze Sub-Zero. Then we have BTAS season 4. Then we have STAS seasons 3 and 4. Then we have Justice League the Animated Series seasons 1 and 2. And then we have the film Batman Mystery of the Batwoman. Then we have the show Static Shock, and that's based on the character Static from Milestone Comics, which was later acquired by DC Comics. And Dwayne McDuffie, the creator of Static Shock, directed this show, and he also directed episodes of Justice League the Animated Series. And Dwayne McDuffie, God rest his soul, was one of the greatest comic book writers and TV writers and directors of all time. He got his start in comic books in the 1980s, writing for Marvel. Then he went and created his own publishing company along with some friends who also left Marvel because they wanted to start the first black-owned publishing house for comic books. And so they created Milestone Comics, and the flagship character for that was Static, created by McDuffie, who wrote it. And yeah, and then after they were acquired by DC, he and his buddies went on to continue writing and drawing their characters, but under DC Comics. And so you could have Static team up with Robin, or Batman team up with Icon and such like that. Great characters. And yeah, moving on, we have Justice League Unlimited, which is a continuation of Justice League after season 2. It was rebranded to Justice League Unlimited, and that had 3 seasons. Then we have the film Justice League versus the Fatal Five, which takes place just a couple weeks after the end of the show. Then we have Batman Beyond, again, top notch Then we have the Batman Beyond spin-off show, the Zeta Project. They only had 2 seasons, but it was pretty good from what I remember and have been told by other people who have watched it completely through. But there are 3 seasons of Batman Beyond. Then we have the film after Zeta Project. We have the film Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker, and there are 2 versions of it. There's the regular release, and then there's the director's cut. The director's cut is what I recommend you buy and watch, because, not saying that the regular version is bad, far from it. It's just that the director's cut is more true to what the director Boyd Kirkland intended for the film to be. So I definitely recommend that you watch that version of it, and it's a lot more graphic, so please be warned about that. But, well, graphic in that, you know, the violence is a bit more brutal, but it's still within the confines of a kid's show. But regardless, wrapping this up, we have Justice League Unlimited Season 2, Episode 13, Epilogue. This is the final episode of Season 2. They did not know that they were going to be renewed for a 3rd season, so they thought that they would wrap up the DCAU in this neat little bow with this episode. But then they got renewed for a 3rd season. But this is the canonical end of the DCAU. So skip the last episode of Season 2, watch Season 3, and then go back and watch the end of Season 2 as the very last thing that you see. Because it's better that way. Because if you watch it in release order, then that's fine. But if you want to get the full chronological experience, watch the Season 2 finale of Justice League Unlimited last. And there you have it, folks. That is the chronological watch order of the DC Animated Universe. Let me know if you want me to do the same for the Marvel Animated Universe. I would definitely like to do that. And thank you so much for listening to the National Timely Action Hour podcast. Once again, my name is Aiden, and let's hope that Season 3, we can come up with more ideas and better ideas. So thanks for listening. Have a good one. Goodbye.